Hey friends, welcome back for another video. I have my little helper Jordy Ray with me today, and I'm going to be going over a camping trip 2 under 2, what that looks like, to help out any other mamas that are adventurous and wanting to go out with their kids. It is totally doable, and I just want to hopefully make it a little bit easier for you by going over 3 main categories, which is what you will be wanting to pack, food, and sleeping arrangements, which is top on my mind, and also naps and what that looks like. If you're new around here, my name is Sandy-Kaye, and let's begin. For packing, first off, you're going to want to look up the weather and see what it's looking like. For us, it was saying 30% chance of rain on one day, and so I did pack our raincoats, and that was a good thing. And I would say err on the side of bringing more warmer clothes, more blankets, because you do not want your kids to be getting cold. But it did end up raining on us like every single day we were there, and 2 days was like a downpour. So we are super grateful that we had all of the warm clothes. You're also going to want to pack sunblock and bug spray, and we forgot the bug spray, but thankfully someone else had it. And for the essentials for packing, I would say a baby carrier is a must-have, and then along with all the other clothes you're going to bring, just making sure you have hats and coats and blankets, of course, and then everything for your tent setup if that's what you're planning on doing, or if you're sleeping in an RV, then it might be a little bit less on that end, but I'll go more into depth on that later. The second point I'm going to talk about is food. And for us, it was pretty simple because my parent-in-laws were doing all the cooking, but snacks is nice to have. I'd say high protein snacks. So some examples of things that we had was string cheese and crackers, protein bars and protein drinks. We had some apples and some yogurt. So those were great snacks to just get us through between meals, and especially if we're going hiking or something, those are really nice to have. We were lucky to have clean water out of the spigot to fill up our water bottles and restrooms, but if you do not have water available, you'll definitely want to pack lots of water for you and for your babies, especially if you're a nursing mama. You'll need to make sure you've got a lot of water. And along with food, if you have a little baby and you are breastfeeding, you'll definitely want to bring, I just brought 1 bottle or maybe 2 bottles and a hand pump and a haka. And the third thing we're talking about is sleep and naps. So our sleeping setup, I'll have a picture for you, but right when you walk in our tent, we have our sleeping bag where me and my husband were sleeping, and at the foot of our bed we had our son, and we have a little toddler mini tent. Really? And the weather, it didn't get too cold for us, so for our son, we had footy pajamas, cotton PJs, fleece. On one night it was a little colder, and a sleep sack that is like sleeping bag material, and then just a blanket over him. And then for us, we had a big cotton sleeping bag, and we put a sheet over it because it usually like your face will get cold, so we just like a sheet on top to kind of go around our face. And then we just were in regular pajamas, no socks or anything. And if you are co-sleeping with the baby, then you'll want to dress them similar to what you're wearing and just like 1 more layer. And sometimes I'd even feel her that she was like getting a little sweaty, so I had to like take off a layer. So you'll just want to like monitor that as you wake up when you're feeding them through the night, or just whenever you wake up, just checking both kids' foreheads. And if you're just not comfortable with that, I would say the DockATot worked great for us, or any sleep lounger or bassinet that you have that's small enough to fit in your tent just right next to you. And we had her in footed PJs and a sleep sack. It was like fuzzy but not like super heavy. And then we put like a light blanket just tucked around her. And then a pro tip for the lounger, if you're going to bring that, is to have a sheet for it, just so you can wash everything when you get home and just keep everything nice and fresh. And as far as our nights, how it went, we were there 3 nights in total. And the first night, my toddler woke up like twice, and then the Baby probably woke up about three or four times, just I think hungry, but also maybe not the right temperature because she was sleeping in the lounger, and we didn't have much of an issue when she co-slept the next night. And so the second night, the toddler didn't wake up at all, and not the third night either. So it was mostly just the baby waking up. It really wasn't that bad. I would just quickly feed her. She wouldn't cry. I would like hear her wrestling around, feed her before she was crying. And when the toddler did wake up, we would just say, go back to bed. And at least that works for our toddler. So hopefully sleep will go well with your family as well. As far as sleeping essentials of what to bring, all the things you need for your tent, a tarp under it, especially since we got rained on, we were super glad we had the tarp. So the tarp, the tent, your sleeping bag, a sheet, a toddler tent, a fleece PJs and cotton PJs for both babies, and sleep sacks for both babies. And for the toddler, it's nice to have a sleeping bag, sleep sack, which is a little bit warmer, as blankets don't always stay on them, and it's not always recommended depending, you know, how old your toddler is. And then blankets for you and your toddler, and just to have in the tent just in case someone gets cold. And then for the baby, a heavier and a lighter sleep sack and a DockATot or something for them to sleep in. And lastly, as far as naps, I would say the biggest thing is don't put pressure on naps. You're camping, you're in a different environment. Your kid will likely not sleep just like they sleep or nap just like they do at home. And so for our toddler, the first night he had a nap in the car because my husband had to go get some service for work. And so he was gone long enough that he had a good nap in the car. And the second night we tried doing a tent nap, and he honestly didn't sleep. I, like 20 minutes in, went to go check on him, and he was just playing with things in the tent. So it's not always gonna go as planned or as expected. It's likely not going to, but you just kind of gotta go with the flow. And then the third day, it was in our laps, in my husband's lap to be specific. He just fell asleep literally in the middle of feeding him some yogurt for a snack before dinner. It was probably like 3-ish, and that's usually by the time he's getting up. The latest we like him to take a nap, but you know, we're camping. It's like we're probably gonna be up late with everybody by the campfire. So in the lap worked for that nap just fine. All right, so that's everything for what our camping trip for 3 nights with 2 under 2 looked like for our family. I hope this was helpful for you, or just at least gave you some hope that it is possible to camp with kids and you really can have a fun time. We played in the creek, we went hiking. Even though it was colder and rainy, my son just had a blast. Even in the rain, he loved it. So I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Say bye.